This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
So, no, but I mean, nobody likes, I mean, it's another one of those taboo subjects. Okay, so mental health.
Yeah.
Which is, it seems to be a pretty talked about hot button issue
Which
these
is
days,
good to be taught. Yeah.
I was on a medication, and I'm here to tell you about, I'm not going to tell you that I'm against medications, because for some people they work. And but the process of figuring out, you know,
The amount.
which one,
The amount, the combination.
the process of going through that was always what deterred me from doing it in the first place. And you know what? Sometimes it just sucks being right, because I went through it. I went through, I think, 6 or 7 different medications. And mind you, when you start one, it takes about, I don't know, 7 to 10 days for it to work into your system.
Right.
And about another 7 to 10 days to tell you if it's working for you or not.
Wow.
And you will learn very quickly if it is not the right one. And then you have to wean yourself off and then get back on another one. And it's just a disaster. But I'm like, okay, here I am. I just got to do this now. So, long story short, I was put on a medication called Rexulti, which is the devil in a pill. Hey,
How did it make you feel?
well, here's the sad part about it is it worked, and it worked for a while, and I was just so pleased with the fact that it was working that I never bothered to Google the side effects.
Ooh.
I never asked any questions because I was just absolutely so desperate.
Yeah, because
get
after those
well, you know?
after those pills not working, the other ones, this one was like, hey.
Yeah. After a while, you just stop asking questions like, okay, what's this one going to do? What are the bad side effects? Because there's a list for every single one of them. And they put me on this crap called Rexulti. And
What were the side effects of Rexulti?
well, I was on it for a year and a half, and I didn't get any of the side effects until a year in. I gained 24 pounds, hence the reason I was, heavy when I was here last. I slept for an average of 12 to 14 hours a day.
You lazy bastard.
Yeah. And I mean, people are yelling at me. You're like, you look like hell. You're sleeping too much. And we didn't know that was the problem.
No.
What was the other the third big one? And and here's a big one too. Dyskinesia. I don't know if you know the term.
Dyskinesia. Is that in Southeast Asia?
I've never been there. It's
Never
not
been
a
to
place you want to
Dyskinesia?
vacation.
Oh, that was Indonesia.
No.
Okay.
Dyskinesia is involuntary motion, very much like Parkinson's.
Oh,
So
not like Tourette's kinda, huh?
borderline.
Borderline Tourette's.
I mean, it's leg twitches, hand twitches, and most notably, jaw movement that you can't control. So
It's like you're on meth.
you're chewing your tongue off, really. And
So you thought you were developing a habit.
Well, I didn't know what it was until people were starting to point it out. They're like, what's going on with your mouth? And then I was like, I don't know. I was wearing a mask a lot, and I thought that for some reason maybe I was wearing, like, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing with my mouth anymore. So I thought that had something to do with it. I just didn't think in a million years that it was anything to do with the medication.
Right.
Had I just did a little bit of a search. Then I started seeing commercials for it. And the commercials, when they put medication commercials on, the stipulation is you can advertise your crazy ass drug, but you've got to put the list of every possible side.
Yeah, with the guy saying it in 180 beats per minute, right? Side effects may cause.
Oh yeah, they do it fast, and they try to gloss over it, like it may cause anal leakage, like whatever. It's always something terrible, but they just like gloss over it, like anal leakage, no big thing. You'll get by, but. And I think it was my longtime production and music partner Ken Roberts with the Josie Pace project. We were on the phone together, and he's like, "What is it that you're on again?" And I told him it's Rexalti, and he's like, "Holy crap! You need to get off this stuff." He's like, "Have you read the side effects?" I'm like, "Negative." But I've been seeing these commercials, and I noticed that at the end of the commercial, like one of the big things is may cause involuntary movements in your face and limbs, could be permanent.
Whew.
I've been off this stuff for a long time, and I still have things going on. Not nearly. I mean, it was really, really bad to the point where I was literally cut from a Josie Pace video because it was
Terrible.
They're like, we can't use any of this footage. You will not want us to use any of this footage.
And you gained 10 more pounds on TV.
Yeah. So not only, I was catching a lot of hell for the weight gain, to their defense, they didn't know it was the medication. They're like, and then, this whole, chewing off my face on camera. They're like, yeah, you look terrible. You're doing all this weird shit with your mouth. We can't use any of this. So I was sadly cut from the video.
How did it feel? I mean, this whole rejection thing again, this whole frustration. You thought you found the right one, and then it wasn't the right one.
Yeah.
Did it cause a tailspin again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it did.
Of course.
Because, there I am being right again, I didn't want to be right, but I was right. I proved my point that this stuff is all garbage. It's never going to work. Maybe I should,
just get
more
off
old school and be like my dad, just,
deal with it.
Suck it up.
Suck it up. Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't been on any medication since. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it's just so scary, like, and I have, a musician friend of mine that recently I talked to, and he's like, yeah, my doctor put me on this antidepressant. I'm like, oh crap, it's not Rexalti, is he? He's like, no. And then like 6 days later, he calls me. He's like, I can't do this. I'm sleeping for 10 hours. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like how number one, how long you been seeing this doctor? Because you just don't know, especially here in Los Angeles. The healthcare system is so terrible here. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yes.
And you just don't know if some pharmaceutical rep bought him a nice breakfast that day and he's prescribing X, Y, and Z because he's getting a kickback or whatever. So I'm like, well, I've been seeing this guy for 30 years. I trust him. I'm like, well, give it another 4 or 5 days and call him and say, just don't stop taking it cold turkey. You got to go through the process. And he got off and he's like, no. All I needed was one trial and error on this, and I just, it's not for me.
Now, when you got off Rexalti, is that when you started losing weight, or did you have to go back to the gym?
It was a combination. I started feeling good enough to go back out and exercise, and I wasn't sleeping for 12 hours at a time anymore. And no, most of it fell off. It was like, a good 10, 12 pounds was gone within like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I got another 10 to go. And I'd still like to lose another 10, but at 45, that seems damn impossible.
I'm 51.
Shut up.
I lost 28.
You are not 51 years old.
I am 51. Just turned 51 last week. Yeah.